only a nightmare. It's just in my head. It's only a nightmare. It's just in my head.
Yes, what's happening everyone? It's ReganCipher here. Today we're taking a look at another hybrid triple driver IEM. It's the MMCX for BASN. BASN is an acronym for Be a Sincere Newcomer. This would serve as a reminder in later years to founder Louis Lee of his intentions and values when he started the brand. And the MMCX is one of several lines in their portfolio, starting from the dual driver entry level B Singer, going all the way through to their newer planar models, the MT Pro and the AS1. In terms of complexity, the MMCX is somewhere in the middle. As I said, it's a hybrid driver IEM with dual chamber 10mm dynamic drivers and a balanced armature in the nozzle. And its design and quite specific sound signature has meant that the product has been particularly popular with drummers, bassists and live performers in general. But with a ramp up of releases during 2023, no doubt BASN will be looking to translate that success they've had with the live market into the casual listener. The BASN motto of "Colour your ultimate sound" makes sense, with the MMCX available in a number of different colour schemes. And these retail at Amazon UK for around £75.99, although I have seen them drop as low as £62.99, so keep an eye out for those flash sales. Now the unboxing experience even at this price range is really impressive. The MMCX is supplied in a hard-wearing, hefty external enclosure, and it looks good too with the IEM visibly set into the design on the front cover. I remember reading in a review of the MMCX a while ago that the unboxing felt like an experience from Tiffany's. Whilst that might be over egging the pudding a little bit, I do kind of get where they're coming from. A lot of thought has gone into the unboxing experience down to the minutiae detail. On the back it talks about the hybrid driver arrangement. You've got a dual chamber hybrid 10mm diaphragm dynamic driver set and a single balanced armature. BASN talk about a crisp, clear sound and isolation of up to 30 dB, which you would kind of expect given the market that they're especially popular with is performers on stage. Once you start peeling back the layers of the box, you can very quickly understand where this Tiffany's analogy comes from. Some of the accessories are held in the top along with the IEM, but you've got a small tray which if you open up you'll very quickly find the cables. And the accessories that come with the MMCX are equally impressive, both in their number and in their variety. You're getting two cables supplied with this model and both of them are housed in these smart looking custom envelopes. They're single pin MMCX connectors as you would expect given the name of the product. The brown coloured cable comes with a built-in microphone and a 3-button control unit. The second cable is silver plated. There's no mic built into this one, but it does feel decent quality. Both cables have little anti-tangle thingies built into them. Both cables terminate to 3.5mm jack, and both cables are long to measuring 4.9 feet or 1.5 meters. The cables have blue and red dots to remind you which side each IEM goes into, and the ear hooks comprise of flexible but malleable wire. My personal preference is to have a preformed style, but they're fine and they do give you a bit of flexibility. In the pack you're getting a little crocodile clip to clip the cable to your shirt, a stereo jack adapter and a nice little cleaning brush. And if you're wondering where to find these things in the box, they're all housed in a hard shell BASN branded case. The case is also pretty good quality, although do bear in mind it's probably going to be too small to carry all of your accessories as well as the two cables and the IEMs themselves. And let's not forget the ear tips as well, of which you get no less than 12 sets, 9 silicone and 3 foam. The ear tips are reasonably good quality, nothing special, but as you would expect for a sub $100 IEM. There's standard fit in small, medium and large, and you've also got double flange and Etymotic style triple flange in the same configurations. Foam also come in 3 sizes and are Comply style unbranded. Now looking at the ergonomics and the build quality, the first thing that strikes you when you look at the MMCX is that green marbled effect to the plate, which makes it an attractive looking IEM. The plate has a nice little shimmer in the light and it contrasts well with the BASN logo screen printed in gold. The single pin MMCX adapter is at the top, Personally, I prefer the 2-pin, but I do see the merits in a single plug. You get a satisfying click when it plugs in, and you've got lots of flexibility in terms of being able to turn it. For active users such as stage performers, I could see that this would be a big benefit. Flip them over and you get to see the transparent plastic design of the inner side, and you're also getting a view of the dual chamber dynamic drivers and the crossover into the balanced armature in the nozzle. Now for £60 IEM, I was hoping and expecting something a little bit more premium looking and feeling. It's not that the MMCX are bad quality or bad finishing, far from it, it's absolutely fine. But at that kind of price range, I'm starting to see a lot more CNC finished shells, which tend to have much better longevity than the plastic variety. Even so, they wear very comfortably, they align well with your ear anatomy, and have a discreet profile at least as far as an IEM could be. It's a lightweight and easy wearing IEM that has good fit and strong isolation. BASN claim around 30 dB, and I wouldn't argue with that, that does sound about right. As we said in the intro, their core market has been for drummers and bassists, where that isolation is really more necessary than the average user. When you're using them in live or recorded environments, that isolation is critical. So it stands to reason they're popular with this kind of user, because the MMCX does indeed blot out a lot of background noise. Now, taking a look at the audio and sound signature, the first thing to mention here is that they did require a little bit of burning. I left them running overnight, and on my second marathon listen, everything did seem a bit tighter and felt a lot more controlled. I know there's those out there that question the validity of burning, but at least from my perspective on this model, I did really notice a difference. And the second thing to take into consideration is the tips. They're a lot boomier with silicone than when you switch to foam. Again, this tightened everything up and made it feel a lot more controlled. It tamed the slightly wild lower frequencies, and that brought out the trebles and the mid-range a lot more too. Given these are targeted at bassists, I was expecting a beefy, full-sounding lower frequency response, and I wasn't disappointed. On first listen, as I said, it was a bit too beefy, but after the tips and burning, you're left with a fun sounding bass that, despite that sub bass roll off, has lots of rumble to it and gives drums and percussion a hefty slam. There's good density throughout the lower frequency layers. The mid-range is quite well balanced and neutral sounding, with quite a bit of warmth and body and reasonable detail. Male vocals are a bit softer, a bit further back, but with better depth, whereas female vocals have medium dynamism, not jumping out nor retreating into the mix. There's no sharp peak in the upper mids, it's a gradual climb that brings a pleasant smoothness. The trebles are about as natural sounding as a BA can get, but for treble heads you might find them a tad uninspiring. Cymbals and claps are a little muted, albeit realistic. Pianos and brass instruments sound pleasant. There's a moderate mid-treble peak at 8K, and the trebles don't then roll off completely, and that makes for a realistic sounding response across the entire upper frequency range with quite good separation. The BA timbre is more evident with silicone tips, but with the foam tips it sounds much more organic. There's a moderate amount of air with little to no sibilance or coarseness. All in all, it's a controlled treble. The MMCX certainly aren't a fatiguing set, but they do admittedly lack a little bit of shimmer and sparkle, and this is most notable when you listen for percussive detail, which falls a little short. And driving the MMCX is quite straightforward. I tested it with a few different sources, including my Sony Xperia 1 phone, plugging it directly into the jack, and it performed absolutely fine in each instance. Staging on the MMCX is fairly natural as well. They aren't especially wide, but they do give you good depth and height. Imaging is also quite good. I would say they're more accurate than precise. And this, along with a warm sound signature, translates to a pleasant musical experience for the casual listener. It is quite easy to see why these are so popular with guitarists and bassists, because it's a quite realistic and quite balanced sound with, of course, that emphasis on the mid bass. But overall, there's good harmonics and there's a decent balance between the frequency ranges. So to summarize, the MMCX is a performer-friendly IEM that looks good, has decent build quality, an enjoyable dense bassy sound signature with a softer treble response that translates well to casual listening. They're easy to drive and come with loads of accessories, so if you're not like us IEM enthusiasts and don't have rooms full of tips and cables and whatever else, then you're gonna find that package really useful. If you're looking for a triple driver and your preferred sound signature is a warmer tone, then I don't think you're going to be too disappointed by the MMCX, especially if you can pick them up at that reduced price. Do you own the MMCX? If so, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Please do give the video a like if you found it useful and consider subscribing to the channel. For now, it's ReganCipher signing off.